Welcome to Life Tells Stories, your go-to channel for inspirational real-life stories that leave you reflecting on life's biggest challenges and triumphs. In today's story, we dive into a tale of betrayal, resilience, and justice. A story that will leave you asking, how far would you go to reclaim your life and expose the truth? But before we get started, we want to hear from you. Have you ever been in a situation where someone you trusted completely betrayed you? How did you find the strength to move forward? Let us know in the comments below. Your story might just inspire someone else. This is the story of Emily Daniels, a devoted wife and mother who built her entire life around her successful husband, David Daniels. David was a prominent lawyer in the city, confident, ruthless in court, and respected by his peers. To Emily, he was everything. She had been a stay-at-home mom, raising their daughter Lily, and had given up on her own dreams to support his career. But one day, Emily's world came crashing down. Out of nowhere, David handed her divorce papers, blindsiding her with the news that he wanted out. He no longer saw her as part of his future, and to make matters worse, he was seeking full custody of their daughter. David used every legal trick he knew, manipulating the system to paint Emily as unfit, even though she had been a loving mother. With no job, no work experience, and only limited savings, Emily was left with almost nothing. A tiny apartment in a rundown neighborhood, only allowed to see Lily on weekends. Her comfortable, picture-perfect life had evaporated in the blink of an eye. At first, Emily was lost. She felt completely defeated. How could someone she had loved so deeply, someone she had trusted with her life, destroy everything she had worked so hard for? As she struggled to adjust to her new reality, the pain of betrayal and the loss of her daughter consumed her. But then, something incredible happened. Beneath the layers of hurt and anger, Emily found a spark of determination. If David thought she was weak, she would prove him wrong. He had torn her life apart, but she wasn't going to let that be the end of her story. She decided to fight back, but not in the way David would expect. Emily enrolled in night classes at the local community college, starting from scratch. During the day, she studied the law relentlessly, learning the same tactics David had once used against her. At night, she waited tables to make ends meet, often staying up until the early hours to keep up with her coursework. And through it all, she never stopped thinking about Lily. Though her time with her daughter was limited, Emily's love for her remained as strong as ever. Her motivation, to become someone Lily could be proud of, and to show David that she was stronger than he ever imagined. After years of grueling work and sacrifice, Emily graduated at the top of her class and earned a scholarship to a prestigious law school. There, she faced new challenges, balancing her studies, part-time work, and her still limited time with Lily. Yet, through every obstacle, Emily kept pushing forward, fueled by the desire to reclaim her life. David, in the meantime, had continued his climb up the legal ladder. He had no idea what Emily was doing. He had written her off, never imagining that she would re-enter his world. To him, Emily was a closed chapter, someone left in the past. But she was far from forgotten. Emily's hard work began to pay off, and she soon made a name for herself in legal circles. She first worked as an advocate for underprivileged clients, fighting for those who couldn't fight for themselves, and later gained recognition as a rising star in criminal law. Her dedication, passion, and deep understanding of the law set her apart. People began to take notice. Eventually, Emily's efforts caught the attention of the state governor, and she was appointed as a judge. It was a monumental achievement. The title of Judge Emily Daniels was more than just a career milestone. It was proof that no matter how many times life knocked her down, she could rise again. Before we continue, if Emily's journey has inspired you so far, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to Life Tells Stories for more amazing, true stories of triumph over adversity. And remember to share this video with anyone who could use a little encouragement today. Now let's get back to the story, because the most dramatic part is yet to come. Emily had come so far, but she knew that her past with David was far from over. It was only a matter of time before their paths would cross again. And when that moment came, it was more intense than she could have ever imagined. One day, a high-profile custody case landed on Emily's docket. The details of the case were strikingly familiar. A wealthy client embroiled in a bitter custody battle, and the lead counsel representing the client was none other than David Daniels. Emily's heart raced when she saw David's name on the file. It had been years since she had seen him, but the memories of their painful divorce came flooding back. The way he had manipulated the system, twisted the facts, and used their daughter as a pawn in his legal game. But this time, Emily was in control. As the trial began, Emily sat on the bench, calm and composed. David, as always, was confident and calculated, using his usual charm to sway the court. But Emily, with years of experience now under her belt, saw through every subtle twist and manipulation he tried to employ. She listened carefully, never letting on as she was onto something bigger. But inside, Emily had a growing suspicion. Something about the case didn't add up. Over the next few days, she began to quietly investigate, digging deeper into the client's financial records and communication logs. What she discovered shocked her to the core. There were irregularities in the financial transactions linked to the client, irregularities that mirrored some unexplained deposits that had appeared in Emily's own bank account years ago, during the divorce. As she cross-referenced the dates and amounts, she realized that David had been funneling money through offshore accounts and using their daughter Lily's name in the process. Emily's heart pounded. David had not only betrayed her during their divorce, but had used their own child in his illegal financial schemes. The very thought made her blood run cold. Now, armed with this explosive information, Emily faced a dilemma. Confronting David too directly could backfire. He still had influence, and she knew from experience that he would use every trick in the book to turn the situation against her. But Emily wasn't going to back down this time. She decided to consult her trusted mentor, Judge Robert Nelson, a man known for his integrity and wisdom. Over a quiet coffee meeting, she laid out the evidence she had gathered, her voice barely above a whisper as she recounted the financial discrepancies and David's involvement. Judge Nelson's expression grew serious as he listened. "Emily, you need to be careful," he said. "If this is true, it could bring David down completely. But you need rock-solid proof before you make any move." Emily nodded, knowing the risks, but she was determined to protect Lily and expose the truth, no matter the cost. As the trial continued, Emily worked late into the night, gathering more evidence and piecing together the full picture. She knew she couldn't confront David directly, not yet, but she could use the courtroom as the platform for his eventual downfall. And that's exactly what she did. Emily began subtly shifting the focus of the trial, asking sharp questions that pointed to the financial discrepancies she had uncovered. David, initially confident, soon began to realize that something was off. His usual swagger faltered, his composed exterior cracking as he struggled to regain control. Finally, the moment of truth arrived. Emily called in a forensic accountant as her final witness, an expert who had meticulously analyzed the financial records. The accountant's testimony was explosive. He revealed a web of shady financial transfers, including accounts linked to Lily's name that David had used to launder money. The courtroom erupted. David's client was left speechless, and the judge immediately called for a recess to evaluate the new evidence. When the trial resumed, the atmosphere in the courtroom was tense. Word had spread about the revelations, and the gallery was packed with media and spectators. David, now a shadow of his former self, looked around the room, desperate for a way out. But there was none. Emily had him cornered, and with each piece of evidence she presented, the walls closed in tighter. emails, hidden transfers, confidential memos. It was all laid bare for the court to see. In a final, climactic moment, Emily called her own daughter, Lily, to the stand. The room fell silent as the teenager took her place, her eyes nervously shifting between her parents. Emily's voice was gentle as she asked her daughter about the accounts and whether she had ever felt pressured by her father to sign documents she didn't fully understand. Lily hesitated but eventually admitted that her father had asked her to sign papers she didn't comprehend but had been told were for her future. With tears in her eyes, she looked at her father and said, "I didn't know he was using me like this." David's entire case crumbled before him. His client abandoned him, and the media was buzzing with the downfall of one of the city's most respected lawyers. But for Emily, this was more than just a victory in court. It was the long overdue justice she had been fighting for. If this story moved you, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to Life Tells Stories for more inspiring true tales like this one. And don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments below. After the trial, Emily and Lily stood together, mother and daughter, stronger than ever. They had been through so much, but they had come out on the other side with a deeper bond. David, on the other hand, faced disbarment and potential criminal charges. He had once ruled his world with confidence, but his own ambitions had led to his downfall. For Emily, the road ahead was still long and challenging, but she had reclaimed her life, her career, and her daughter's trust. And as she continued her work as a judge, she knew that no matter how dark things seemed, there was always a way forward. Thank you for watching today's story on Life Tells Stories. Make sure to subscribe to our channel for more amazing real-life stories. And as always, remember that the truth will always come to light, no matter how deeply it's buried.